Welcome to another video. My name is Sander and we are in November in Canada, which means it's the end of the camping season and we have snow in the forecast tonight, so it's time to winterize the trailer. Stick around as I'll show you in 10 steps what you need to do to winterize. It's very easy, everybody can do it. Now before you start saying, well, why don't you blow out the lines? I'm fully aware that there is multiple ways of winterizing the trailer. I tend to use the pink stuff just because it's easy, it's cheap, and I've done it for many years and never had any issues. But blowing out the lines, there's nothing wrong with it either. Step number one is an obvious one, however, I do want to call it out, is to drain your black and gray water tank. You don't want any liquid sitting here in the winter. So before you end your last camping trip, make sure you do a good dump, flush it all, so you're good to go for winter. Step number two involves draining all your fresh water out. Now the first point, you'll have a low point drained probably near the fill of your trailer. There's a sticker typically on the side of the trailer if you're not quite sure where they are. All you do is open it up and let that drain. Now in this case I've already drained it, so there's nothing here. However, there's one more spot we need to check on this trailer here. Now that we drained the fresh by the fill, we also have to find the other low point drain. Now in this trailer there's one more spot for both your hot and the cold. There's a sticker on the outside, but there's nothing at the bottom, so we have to go in to drain it. So here's the low point drains in the trailer. So one hot, one cold. So we open this up and let that drain. Make sure it's all done draining before we close it back up. Step number three is to drain your water tank, if you haven't already done so. So the easiest way to do it is open up. Now, this is complete overkill. I could not find a ratchet, but there's a little plastic plug here with a 7/8 socket that just gently, as you can see in this case, it's already completely drained. But what I'd like to do is just put this in back. There's also a good opportunity to see how much junk there is in your black tank. As you can see, there's quite a bit of junk collected in here. I just tend to put it in loosely just so we don't have any mice or other critters crawling during the winter. Now one thing that's often overlooked when it comes to winterizing your trailer is to make sure you check your freshwater connections. When you open it up, there's this little membrane here just to stop the gunk from going in. Now here there's a little white release valve. Press it, there may be pressure on it, so I'd suggest you at least take a step back when you do so. Otherwise you may be in for a surprise. Now in this case nothing happens. But if you haven't drained it yet and there's some pressure on the line, expect water to squirt out. So after that's done, just put your membrane back. And that's it. So step number 5 is to bypass your hot water heater. The reason is why you want to do is you don't want to fill up this whole container full of antifreeze. So what you do is you bypass it. Now I already did it. So this is normally in the open, closed, same situation there. So open and close, we already have it closed, but you want to do this to not waste all your antifreeze. So now that we closed or bypassed the hot water heater, now it's time for what I like to call the pink stuff. Now it's pretty cheap. This is pretty much 2 gallons of it, which is more than sufficient. Typically I don't like being cheap with this. The reason being, it's cheap and it prevents you from replacing plumbing, which is much more expensive than a jug of the pink stuff. So to do this, you place your jug over here by the pump. Now a lot of newer trailers have a bypass, such as this hose here, which makes the winterizing process so much easier, because honestly all you need to do is you stick this in the jug, not like that and make a mess. Stick it in the jug, open the bypass valve here on the pump, and now you have to turn on the pump. You can see it's running the pink stuff through the lines, which means now we're good to go and open all the tabs. Now there's no particular order in doing this. I typically start with the kitchen, so make sure your pump is on and then just run the tabs until you see pink stuff coming through. Again, don't be cheap. See, now we get a nice flow of pink, which is perfect. Now that we've done the hot, now we do the same for cold, so same thing. Just run it until you get a nice pink color out of it. And again, don't be cheap. I like to let it run for a little bit, just to make sure everything circulates through nicely. Next, in the bathroom, we can't forget the toilet. So what you have to do is just, same thing here, press on it until you get a nice solid pink. Once you get a nice solid pink, just flush the toilet. And that's the toilet. Next step is to do the tap. Run this until you get good and solid pink. Make sure all the air is out of the lines. So once you get a nice pink color like this, we're done here. So there's one more step that again people forget, but which is your shower head. So do the same thing here. Make sure you run that until you get nice and pink out of it. Of course, do that for both. There we go. That's all you have to do for the pink stuff. Now that the pink stuff is done, there's just a few more things we need to do before we put the trailer away officially for winter. The first one, and again, this, some people keep their battery in, some people keep it out. I tend to take my battery out for the winter, store it in-house, and then put it back into the spring. Other people like to leave it plugged in. To me, it's kind of a waste of energy. I mean, it doesn't hurt to leave it in, but you might as well just take it out for the winter and store it properly. Put it on the trickle charger occasionally to make sure that the voltage remains stable. The other thing is to mouse proof it. We honestly never had any issues with mice, and what we use are dryer sheets. They're cheap and they smell nice. There's many other options you can do. We had typically luck with dryer sheets. Never had a mouse in the trailer. You know what? And the additional benefit is when you open up your trailer in the spring, it smells very nice. So I just get a stack of them and put them everywhere. The thing to do in the trailer is of course to make sure that you remove all food. You do not want to attract mice. So make sure all your food is out. Of course, anything that can freeze, you don't want to leave in there either. So one additional thing that we like to do is put in some damp traps. So if there's any moisture in it, it will capture it. Now make sure, because we are in the winter here, put them in the bathtub, put them in the sink. That way if they capture moisture and expand and freeze, then at least you don't have a big mess all over your trailer. So I'm just going to stick one in the sink, one in the bathtub. The other thing is I leave my vents closed. That way no external moisture comes in, and moisture and trailer just don't mix very well. That's it for in the trailer. There's one more thing that I suggest you do outside. Now one last thing that I recommend you do before the snow falls, ironically it's snowing now, is to check your roof seals. So make sure you have some lap sealant. Go on your trailer roof, just check out all the seals, make sure that there are no cracks. If there are, just apply some lap sealant. Just look at the seals, look for any obvious cracks or openings. And again, if you need to, have some lap sealant so you can apply it. So that's how you easily winterize your trailer and get it ready for winter. Now there's many more steps you can do. I find this is the bare minimum. So if you enjoyed this video, please like the video. It really helps to push this video out. Subscribe as well. There's many camping trips, but also more trailer DIY, such as installing those 2 panels. So if you'd like to see more videos like this about trailer DIY, getting it ready, why don't you check out this video where we install this solar panel with the solar kit.